Hi, and welcome back to Armchair Pundits. As usual, you've got myself, James, you've got Daryl, you've got Leon. How you doing, guys?
Yeah, all good.
Not too bad, bro. Not too bad. Yourself?
I'm alright. Feeling a bit better after last week's bouts of illnesses, but football's back. Liverpool winning. Everything's happy. Always makes
Yeah,
life a bit easier,
you're always happy when Liverpool's winning, aren't you?
damn sure. But you guys doing the great escape again. Like, it's mad. I
Yeah.
don't know how you guys' nerves are holding up, especially when you're in the stadium. You must be screaming your heads off, fuming. The next minute, just jumping for joy. So it must be
I ain't
exciting.
gonna lie, bro. I emotionally detached myself from that first 60 minutes of the game. Swear down. I was there at the stadium just sitting down every time we tried to pull a goal back. Leeds just yeah, man, Leeds are gonna be alright this season. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just hoping that all of this first half, second half business is prep for the second half of the season when everyone comes back from the World Cup because
Well,
it
that's what I was.
cannot
That's what I was
continue like
calling.
this.
That's what I was calling. That's what I was telling you. I'm praying that that's the case, Leon. Obviously, yeah, I missed it. Obviously, I weren't there, Leon. Sent my two uncles with Leon. Tried to call Leon after the game to see if my uncles were still alive because they're of the older generation and their hearts must have been going mad with that result.
Just
I
know
was
they
at
were
work.
cussing me.
The benefits I have at work of being able to watch the Premier League live in my role at work. Got to see the match live, and it was a madness. Like we started so poor, once again conceding the first goal, got back into it. The lead scored again, got back into it, started to get on top of the game, and then Leeds scored again. And you're like, oh, what is this? And I thought at that point, I thought, nah, come on, this is done. And then to come back and win 4-3, like, wow, like I'll give credit where it's due. We didn't give up. We kept going. But I'll tell you what, even when we scored the fourth goal, I still didn't feel safe.
It weren't safe. It was not
Even when
safe.
they had 10 men, I still didn't feel safe. Like
No.
I know my sister was telling me like you two were like nervous all the way until the final
You
whistle
would
went.
be, boy.
Like,
Bro,
You would be.
oh
the
man,
only time I celebrated was when we scored the fourth goal, bruv. The other goals, I was stay sitting down because I was still vexed. Couldn't believe the nonsense that we were doing when we didn't have the ball.
oh mate,
Just making Leeds play football, and it's the story of our season so far. We just allowing teams to play football and create chances against us, and defensively we're just so poor. Like
I'd say
it's
Leeds
not.
were clinical though. They were clinical with their chances. You
Yeah,
can't
I
you
mean
can't argue that.
Rodrigo is
Oh, that was a finish,
doing
though.
what
That was a finish
the
from Rodrigo.
Rodrigo that we
Yeah.
thought that
The Real Madrid version.
he could be.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Valencia
when
version,
he was
actually,
coming through
really.
the ranks.
Mm.
Yeah, but man, defensively just poor again. I think that needs to be resolved in the January transfer window. We really need to get some reinforcements
Can
at
you
the
get
back
Indica? I know that's
because
who you want. Do you reckon you can get him?
That
it's one of the options that I'd like. But
that's who
again,
Leon
it's
wants.
Conte.
I'm
Because
still
I
I'm
don't
still on the
think,
Bastoni. I would still like
bro, he
Bastoni
doesn't want
Bastoni,
to coach. You know
yeah.
what?
Bruv,
He
Bro,
money
said
he's
talks,
it.
not
bro.
trying to leave Inter.
He
He's
said
not
Money
it.
trying to
talks,
leave
bruv.
Yeah, he said it.
Inter. He's an Inter
He's not
fan.
leaving.
Bruv,
He's
money
an Inter
talks, man.
fan. We need to just allow it. It's
Money
like
talks, bro.
Braymar. Braymar never wanted to come England. He was like, nope, I'm staying in Italy and I'm going Juve. And now Juve are, as much as they're not playing great football, they've conceded like 7 goals in
Yeah.
some stupid amount of games. So they've done, their defense is locked down now. But yeah, I think Conte knows that the defense needs to be sorted out. We can clearly get goals. We've scored the third most amount of goals in the league, so we know we can score. We just need to shore up the back line. And let's be real, we haven't replaced. And I heard some guys mentioning it on the radio
Yeah.
that we haven't replaced Vertonghen and Toby Alderweireld.
No,
We
we haven't.
really haven't.
No.
And arguably that's the best defensive partnership we had in a very long time,
Yeah.
probably since we had King and Woodgate. But them man were injury prone. These guys were
Yeah.
ever present, so we haven't replaced them. We let them go, they've gone on and been doing their thing,
They're still
and
playing.
we've just stagnated.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But they're playing.
going to the World Cup. Both of them
They're
going to
playing
the
in
World
Belgium,
Cup.
though. To be fair, they've
Yeah,
But
reduced
they're
the
going to the World
stress.
Cup.
Yeah.
They're going to the World Cup, and so clearly, Martinez thinks they're good enough still to play. So yeah, man, Conte needs to holler at Levy and tell him you need to get the checkbook out, sort out at least 2 defenders, plus we need to resolve the wing back situation because no one is looking convincing to me at the moment at wing back.
No.
So he's not trying Spence yet. He doesn't feel like he's experienced enough.
Didn't want
And
it from
in
his
all
head,
honesty,
didn't it?
yeah, Perisic hasn't been great, really. He's been good with deliveries from set pieces, but in open play, he hasn't been as good as he looked at the beginning of the season. He's kind of tailed off a little bit. So we'll see. We'll see.
I think we can realistically maybe get one centre back in, and even that's going to be dependent on sales because
Bro, you can
people
loan,
like
bro.
Dav-
They
people like Davis,
know the
people
Italian
like
market.
Davis and Sanchez. We've loaned already. We've got Longley on loan.
Oh, yeah, true. True.
People like Davis and Sanchez, players like that have got to go. Doherty's got to go. Like Leon, you said you're done with Emerson. He's got to go. Dyer's been doing madness lately. I think Dyer's all right as your third centre back. Like you need
No,
two
as
better.
your backup, as in substitute. That's to me. That's like Dyer wasn't good enough to play when we had Toby and Wirtz. He going up down in midfield.
Toby and Wirtz are next level though. We know that. And to be honest with you, when Romero's been in the team, Dyer's been better.
Mm.
And when Romero's not there, then Dyer's a liability. And then also in that situation, you're then, either playing Perisic, not Perisic, you're either playing Longley on his positional side of centre back that he's not accustomed to, or you're playing again Davies, who's not. I know he's adapted to the role more now, but that's not his natural position. And then you're then bringing in Davinson Sanchez, who's just absolute rubbish.
Are you worried about Romero? He seems to get a lot of injuries.
Yeah, he does.
Because he dives in
is
so
a concern.
much.
Yeah, that's kind of partly his own fault, to be honest with you.
He's committed. Too committed at times.
Look what happened to Jack Wilshere. Wilshere was too committed, and he broke his body.
Yeah. And he said that as well.
I'm a bit confused though because Romero seems to be ready to play for Argentina.
Basically, he was resting for the World Cup.
Yeah, bro.
That's ultimately he didn't want to risk it.
If that's the case, Conte, you know what Conte's like, bro. He doesn't appreciate that kind of stuff.
Mm. Maybe he genuinely does have an injury because I wouldn't have thought that Conte would have allowed him to just chill if he didn't generally have a problem. But maybe he has a problem and he didn't want to risk it and also miss the World Cup. So we know it's in the players' minds. So
or maybe Conte's sabotaging and saying, "Look, we need to defensive backup."
Yeah, if this guy don't play, we're finished.
Yeah, so Levy, get the checkbook out. But I can't see Levy spending unless we get rid, bro. There's players that gotta go. Like we've loaned flipping Winks to Sampdoria, and he hasn't touched pitch.
Is it?
To any extent, and now he's having an operation. Like, it's crazy. Like, if I was Sampdoria, I'd be cancelling that and saying, "Yo, take man back. You sold us dodgy goods." Like,
he might already be back.
Yeah, he probably is now.
If that's the case, if he's having an operation.
Yeah, I suppose so.
But you're right though. Okay. We do need to offload. But are these guys going to be wanted?
Who's going to buy Winks injures?
Oh, you might come on. Patrizzi's got to know to get rid of them whichever way. Like, even if you take losses, bro, you need to get players out. It's not just the transfer value; it's the wages and everything, bro. Like, you got to get that out, bro.
It's not Levy's thing though, man. Doesn't take losses from nothing. It's the problem.
Well, if you don't take losses on the transfer market, you're gonna end up taking losses on the pitch, bro. Because this squad is shown that it's not enough.
Okay. Well, we'll see where it goes from here because obviously we played the last game, so January is fast approaching. We'll move on to our next game, and usually we'll go for my team, but I've decided we'll go for Man City because they lost. So,
So bad,
so,
man.
so, so,
That
so
felt
why?
good for you.
So why? Well, they were our target, but now they're not. But it was a surprise defeat at home. Brentford, you had Ivan Toney saying you should be picking me. Look why. Good performance from him. And Man City, like, what's going on? Are they trying to hand the title to Arsenal, or are they just giving him? Is he just doing him favors? There you go, Arteta. Have a little bit, and then we'll chase you down later because it was very unlike them.
It was an off game for City.
They had them.
They had enough They had enough chances to win it, but to be honest with you, all credit to Brentford. They played very well. They were structured, organised. Dealt with Haaland, dealt with De Bruyne, and they just basically neutralised what City were good at. And for once, the backup dancers for City, well, you could say backup dancers, but the guys that normally come through for them, like Gundogan or Bernardo, they just didn't chip in like they normally do.
Maybe this is where they're missing Sterling. This is where Sterling would have chipped in.
Bro,
Possibly.
we're saying that, but again, Pep made one sub.
Yeah.
One sub. Like
It's
he had
Alvarez.
Grealish, Mahrez on the bench. He brought on Alvarez. So realistically, he had options, but he didn't feel that those guys were obviously going to turn the game for them. I mean, let's be honest. It was heading for a draw, and then Brentford just counter-attacked the last 10 minutes of the game.
It wasn't the first time though, Leon.
Yeah.
It wasn't the first time. That camera that happened about 2 times before that, where Brentford could have been through.
Bro, they should have been 2-0 before they scored the first goal.
Yeah, and I think personally that the reason Pep didn't make those changes is because those players coming on with how Brentford were playing, they would have been ineffective. So they weren't getting the spaces. They weren't being able to get out wide and create the overloads. So I understand why.
I don't know Mahrez though. I don't think he trusts Mahrez anymore. I think a lot of these penalty misses have probably tarnished him because Mahrez can score a goal from nothing. He can win a free kick. He can win a penalty from nothing. And the way Brentford were playing, very on the front foot with their defending, he could have got something. But I've noticed that a lot of times when they've lost the game, you go look at it and he's made one sub. It's almost like it's like a pattern, like Leon said.
Bro, but this happened. We said the same thing in the Liverpool game where they had options. Like they had all of their creative playmaker ballers on the pitch, but didn't have any outlet. So you had Foden, Silva, Gundogan, De Bruyne, who all do very similar type of movements in the midfield. But you've got guys on the bench, Mahrez and Grealish, who can stretch defences. So as much as you think, that it may have been ineffectual against Brentford, they didn't really play with width. They even took Cancelo off at some stage as well.
There was no width to play with Brentford though. They weren't giving them the chance to play it out wide. That was the thing. Like Rico Henry was having a field day.
He was on fire.
You know what I mean? So I could understand why it was looking at how tactical Pep is. Like that, I could see why he didn't make those substitutions. And to be honest with you, I think he thought it was going to come. I think they thought that eventually they're going to succumb and they're going to crumble and we're going to get through.
He does,
but they come unstuck and
it happens though. They have a loss like this every season. They lost to Wolves one time. Palace. Yeah, they've had a few of them, and it's very few, very very few. But it's usually one that season out or at least. And this is one of those games where effectively you'd say they should have won the game, but the other team were clinical enough, I should say, because as you said, they had a few chances to score prior to that.
Yeah.
You know how Pep looks at it. Pep looks at it from the point of view is like we should have had 3 points. Yeah. We didn't get 3 points.
You move on.
We could have got 1, but
the better team won. Like you said, the better team won.
You know what I mean? So they just took it in a stride. It was great for Arsenal, and yeah, we might as well move on to that game with Arsenal finishing top of the league for Christmas, really, which they haven't done for a long time.
Wolves actually, without being really good, they didn't look like they were going to concede. Really, they held off Arsenal to shots on target. Arsenal had a lot of ball, but not a lot on target.
Again,
and then
Wolves the same, had chances on the counter, and their biggest problem is, which is going to be what's going to keep them in this problem, is that they haven't got a finisher or a goal scorer, someone that's going to get those goals, because they had chances against Arsenal, and it could have been completely different. Could have been completely different if they had got a one up or something against Arsenal at home, but.
Well, Lopetegui's a good manager. You never know.
Yeah,
he might be able to get someone alone from Spain as well.
I think they're going to need it. I don't think they have the goals in the team, if that makes sense. I don't think they have enough clinical players in the team. And since Jimenez got his head injury,
he's not been the
they
same.
Just haven't been able to find any. Yeah, he hasn't been the same, but they haven't found anyone else to replace.
Well, they did. Then he got injured first game of the season.
Yeah.
Who?
I don't know. Kalajic. I don't know how you say his name. Kalajic.
Yeah.
They bought him and he injured his knee. Done his knee first game.
Yep.
Wow. I swear they bought him like last day of the window as well. So it's not like they couldn't even replace him properly.
No.
Yeah. And it says something when you have to bring in Diego Costa.
Yeah.
And even he's done not too bad. He's had chances, but he's just not the Diego Costa of old. But you know what? It's interesting to see the lineup and how they started. I think Lopetegui is already involved in terms of the way they were set up for that game. It's quite interesting.
It was a 5-3-2. It was interesting.
Yeah, and they hadn't been playing like that all season.
No, but they used to play it effectively.
True.
Under Nuno, so it's not completely alien.
I tell you what, that Bueno guy, left back or left wing back, he was doing a lot. For someone who's, I think he's only played a few games for them. Like, where's he been? Ait Nouri, you see glimpses of ability from Ait Nouri, but this guy's up and down, quality, not making players running around them. Thinking, is this guy? He must have been a winger that's been converted to a left back, because he reminds you of those ones, isn't it? That's got that ability, but they said, I think you're going to be a left back.
Yeah.
So I'll watch out for him for the rest of the season, that one. And the new Traore that they've got there as well, plays centre midfield, 20-year-old. He was good as well. He got a yellow card quite early. Probably should have got sent off, in honesty, because he took out Vieira, and the referee said play on, and he played on for like 2-3 minutes, and he didn't go back to it. And then Jesus was like, hold on, you need to be sending off. And he said, leave it.
Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
But I thought he had a good game in midfield. So Arsenal looked good, and they've lost Xhaka. Luckily, you could argue it's at the right time, because they got 6 weeks off. So he should be back. But
are Switzerland in the World Cup? Or they didn't qualify?
I don't think they qualified from memory, but I could be wrong.
They didn't qualify.
Okay, so he's
resting up, yeah. But Odegaard again, he's just now fulfilling his potential, so to speak. This is what, when Real Madrid bought him, they thought they were going to get someone like this, innit?
Yeah, but I don't know why Real Madrid was so quick to dismiss him, because
they are in the World Cup, you know.
They are. Okay.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he won't get much rest. But sorry, go back to Odegaard. Sorry.
I don't know why Real Madrid dismissed him so early. I think it's a case of he obviously went on loan to Arsenal. Arsenal saw what it was about, and I think they basically just said, "Yeah, we know what this guy's going to be capable of, and we'll just get him now." And managed to convince Real Madrid to sell him personally, because like Madrid now could do with him in their team now.
It's an easy. It was only like 25 million or something, isn't it? It's an easy one, isn't it? He's still only 23, bruv. Yeah, he's 24 next month, but he's still only 23. Real Madrid are probably thinking we can get him back in 2-3 years if we really want him.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess so.
I think with Odegaard, when he was at Madrid,
There was no room for
obviously
him.
they sent him out on loan, but yeah,
He did
exactly.
well on loan. There was no room for
Especially
him.
with that midfield. No, he did well, and he learned to play the game simply.
Yeah.
Like he has so much technique, but he was. I think he was probably trying to impress or over impress. But when he moved to the other club, start playing it simple, and because of his technique, he's able to hold possession of the ball without needing to do any fancy tricks and flicks, which is what everyone saw him doing when he was 15, 16, thinking, he's going to be some magician. But he's learned how to make the right decisions, and that's what makes a good playmaker, and he's showing that for Arsenal right now, and hence the reason why he's captain.
Yeah,
for them.
That captaincy's made a big difference to him as well.
Yeah, he's definitely showing a leadership streak that we probably never know. Well, apart from Arteta, we didn't really see that being a.
No.
But he's captain of his country as well, isn't he? If I remember correctly. So
I think so.
It's there. Okay, well, Arsenal strolling on, 5 points clear. They've won the league already.
Just like to say, just to throw a little bit of mud.
Yeah, go on.
They are top at Christmas by 5 games short of the normal amount of games that would have been played. Just saying, innit? My hateration's coming out.
That is such a Leon stat to come up with there, bro. Wow. That was a good one, though. It's a good one, though. I might use that one still on a couple of these gassed Arsenal fans out here. Trust me.
So I'll move on to our game. Scored first. Then equaliser came before we even realised it. And I'm thinking, oh, come on, man.
Here you go again.
Trust me. Like, can't we just do things properly? But
Alisson is messing up my fantasy league, bruv.
It's not his fault, bruv. Alisson is Superman right now. Because let's be honest.
You did your best player this season.
Yeah, bro. Second half, it was the Alisson show.
Two saves again. 2 mad saves again in this game.
That header from the second header from what's his name?
I can't remember what it was.
The second header. Where he had to get down, bruv. That's quality.
That's why for me. That's why he's the best in the world. I know what's his name won it. Courtois. I know Courtois has got the title.
Champions League final.
But Alisson for me is the best goalkeeper in the world. And
but you would say that.
Listen, he gets worked, bro. He gets worked, and he earns
this season.
And he earns his money.
This season,
bro. It's not even just this season. Cyril's been telling me for the longest time our XG is poor. Alisson has to save too many shots for a team that we are, and we get away with it every year. We get away with it, and this year we didn't get away with it earlier this season. Teams were scoring, and now he's gone back to his normal self. Thou shalt not pass. But we're now back to scoring.
Yes,
Nunez is now the flop of the season. Apparently, the flop of the season. Nunez is now on 9 goals. It's now on 9 goals.
Who is saying that, bro?
The memes were everywhere. Because he's not doing Haaland. Because he's not doing Haaland. Because wrongly he was compared to Haaland because they both came in at the same time. They're both the 1 and 2 league team, and admittedly, he's not his first touch isn't that bad. It's his second and third touch that's the problem because he brings the ball down very well and then he trips over it. So he's got a decent first touch, but second and third touch has let him down. But what I would say is in this game. It's almost like the coaching all came into play. His first touch, his second touch was class. He was pinging it across the pitch, making runs. It's almost like he's finally settled. It's like he went, and then now he's ready to play. He looked good. He was
getting into the right places, right positions, doing the right things.
Two good finishes.
It felt like he wasn't over trying like he seemed to have been doing earlier on in the season.
He's not.
Firmino still had a great game as well. So
you look at it, like I said in the last show. How is he not going to the? Listen, I know how he's not, but on form, I don't know how he's not going to the World Cup. But obviously, Richarlison is younger and he's done well for Brazil. Jesus hadn't scored a goal in all the time, but he's managed to get himself back in because he had a good start to the season. But goals wise, Firmino's been back on it, man. He's been clutch for us. Like,
it's a different dynamic for Brazil as well if they take him as well because they don't have players that can do what he does.
But Jesus is trying. Like I said before, Arsenal are trying to do the Liverpool attack business, and Jesus is the Firmino but he's more hustle and
Yeah,
bustle than flicks and tricks.
yeah, it's not
But
the same.
he
Man.
he slaloms
It's
through players and nutmegs players and gets into the box. So he's got it about him. He just needs to iron out the finishing in Jesus. It's obviously it's just not as polished.
yeah, but it's not just about that. Firmino, it's about his movement, the way he feints, drops his shoulder, like does dummies for other players. Like it's that next level of brain that Firmino has, bro. Like that Jesus is not gonna he's not gonna
I
be
was
able to achieve
surprised
those
that
things.
they didn't take him. His contract runs at the end of this year. There's some people that say don't even think of renewing it. He's just having a purple patch. I don't know. I think I'm still on the side of why not? Because he's not. I don't think he's one. He's one that's going to say give me more money. He just wants to stay at Liverpool. So
it's not even just that. Who are you bringing in to do what he can do?
no,
Same thing you're saying
Mbappe.
about Brazil, bro. You are on a hype.
Bro, I can't for sale, bro. I can't for sale. Hopefully we're gonna get these rich owners, innit? Gonna get these rich owners, and they're gonna say, "Here you go, first person we want to sign is Mbappe." Bam, 200
Man
mil.
said it with so much chest as well, bro. Man said it like
Leo,
he's
do you know
got
what the mad
some
thing is
Arab
though?
money, bro.
Do you know what the mad thing is though? Out of all the Premier League clubs, I can only see Liverpool being able to pull
His
that
mum,
off.
his mum's a Liverpool fan.
He's a Liverpool fan or
No,
something. Yeah, I'm
his mum
sure
likes Liverpool,
his mum is.
and his mum is part
Yeah.
of the agents that around his career in it. So that's why the initial talk was there. And when he went to PSG, he saw us, and we took him on a helicopter ride, and that kind of stuff. But
There'll be another one. I could see it be another one of those with the whole Nike thing as well. I could see like a bit like the Adidas thing with Manchester United and Pogba. I could see there'll be some deal along those lines as well.
It's a pipe dream that if it ever came to reality, I think the whole of Liverpool going to meltdown. If that ever came, but it's not happening. Even if
Realistically, I can't see him going. I can't see him going anywhere else in the Premier League.
no,
Like realistically, like he's not going City under Pep. Like that.
you don't think so?
Pep. He don't want to be. Look,
You don't
bro.
want to be controlled by that.
He's got the keys.
But he wants the shackle to be released.
Bro, he's got the keys.
Bet that playing number 9 for PSG when it's fluid up there. It's not like he's having to make space for Messi and Neymar. He ain't trying to be in Pep's rigid.
Nah, bro.
True,
He's not allowed to roam.
Man's got the keys to the Parc des Princes, bruv. He ain't gonna come and sit down behind Master Pep, bruv. No way.
And realistically, you know that Klopp is more of a fluid manager with his front three.
Yeah.
Like you never see the front three in exactly the same positions all the time, apart from Salah. Really, Salah just likes to stay on that side and cut in. But
And even this season, Salah's played as the main focal point up top as well.
Yeah, but confidence-wise, it was a good win for us because what we've done, we've won big games, and then we flopped.
It was the first time you'd beat someone in the bottom half or something like that, was it?
But the curse has been lifted. The curse has been lifted. Bottom three. First time we beat a team in the bottom three.
Yeah, if it was going to be anyone, it would be Southampton. Like that's we've called games where Liverpool should win that. Liverpool should win that. But you look at that Southampton game, you're like, yep, Liverpool should definitely win that.
But they pushed us though, bro. Look, kind of like second half. They had chances, and it was good to see the old Liverpool back to a degree where, yes, there were too many chances given, but we held out, and that's sometimes you just need to see that grit, because on another day that could have been 3-3, and then this would be a whole different story. So the gap has been closed. Like the next team we're going to move on to is Man United. They've obviously. Before the game finished, I thought, yes, it's a good weekend for us. Very good weekend. Then obviously you guys did your last minute winning before, and then them doing it, I was like, just deflated. Garnacho, someone has asked the question, how real is he? And for me, until he proves me anything different, he's no different to Januzaj. He hasn't done anything different to Januzaj right now. He may potentially have a higher ceiling, but he's got a lot to prove. Mercedes came in and scored winning goals for Man United, and what happened to him? you know. So
Yeah,
he looks
true.
promising, and unfortunately, it's another win on the road for them. But there's more to the story, as we've all found out since.
Firstly, talking about the game, it was quite a fortunate win because
Yes,
when
undeserved.
Fulham equalised,
Mm.
they looked like the team that were gonna
Yeah,
go and win the game, and they had chances. De Gea pulled off some saves, and like if anyone deserved to win that game from that point on, you would have said it would be in Fulham.
yeah.
So for them to nick it again, like you said, it's a disappointing for us. Clubs are all fighting for that top four. Um, that they got the result, but they still got the weaknesses. Don't get it twisted. And like we talk on to behind the scenes now. Obviously, someone's shining a light and exposing exposing United for I don't know
Being behind the times in the kitchen
behind yeah
and in the gym and everywhere, bro.
and the technology yeah.
They're still on dial-up. You know what I mean, bro?
Yeah, fact, he's
But let's
using
be real.
fax machines out here, pages.
He's burnt all his bridges now.
Yeah.
But
It's done.
but clearly, what he's saying
There's
has
truth behind it, yeah.
because they
Of course
haven't
it is.
evolved.
Of course it is. You know
They
what?
haven't evolved.
We know Ronaldo as the machine that he is, the person that he is, right? And I can tell you now, I'm pretty sure Ronaldo's house must be up to date with technology, fitness equipment,
Mm.
everything to keep him in shape and stuff like that. So if he's out here telling you about United and the facilities and stuff are not up to spec, he's probably got better spec stuff at home in his house,
I feel sorry for the cook, bro.
and he's
He
embarrassed.
called out the cook, bro. That's deep, bro. I can say the same cook's
No, but
He's
I
still
don't
a-
here.
think he was. I don't think he meant like that. Man was saying
He gave
that he's still got a gas oven. He hasn't even
Bro.
got an air fryer now.
No,
You know what I mean?
he gave the cook
got
he
no
gave the
new
cook
equipment.
respect.
He
Got the
said
same tools.
he did.
He said he liked the cook, bruv. He just felt sorry for him because
He's still there grinding, yeah.
He ain't got
Yeah,
no
yeah.
new tech, bruv. No blenders, nothing.
Gave you more respect than Rooney. That's a low blow, boy.
I don't think I need to answer that question. It's
But
I was like, damn.
But
I think
God,
I think he, like you said, he's done out here. That's it. His time's over in United.
He's
And-
wanted to get out.
yeah, he wanted to get out, but the timing now is perfect.
but none of us knew why Man United didn't let him go.
to
Though.
go World Cup.
Everyone was like, Man United just let him go. No, none of us knew why Man United just wouldn't let him go in the summer. Because he handed in a transfer request. Why did they keep him?
They didn't know where they was at. I don't think Ten Hag knew where he's at, and you don't just get rid of a player like Ronaldo just like especially in the start of your watch. You don't just come in and do that, and potentially if it didn't go right, and then people would have been like, oh, you got rid of Ronaldo. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
True.
now he's effectively let Ronaldo basically hang himself, and not that Ronaldo cares. Not that Ronaldo cares because the timing is perfect. Because at the end of the day, we're going to be at a transfer window, and he's burnt the bridges, and he's going to want to move on to somewhere. Whether he can find someone that's going to, take on these wages and give him the competitiveness that he feels he still got and wants to give, is going to be yet
No
to be
one's
seen.
going to take on his wages. That's the thing. No one will take it on because he may be on a free transfer. In the case of he's got to have to reduce his wages because he wants Champions League. So unfortunately for him, you guys dealt with Sporting. So Sporting are in the Champions League. So if Sporting were in the Champions League still, then that would be a straight line. I would imagine. We'll go there for the rest of the season, take a reduce wages for 6 months. The next summer, find somewhere else.
Yeah, because you don't. Let's be honest. You don't need the money.
No,
Let's be real. Like he can take a hit for 6 months and then end up in the MLS and be on some crazy money.
I think he still wants Champions League. He still wants to break to stretch out Champions League record.
He wants to make sure that no one can break that goals record.
I'm saying next year.
He wants.
I think next year. I think next season.
You think he still wants Champions League next year?
Champions League. He still thinks he's good enough to be scoring goals in Champions League. He doesn't think he's MLS ready yet. He probably thinks when I'm 40,
for who though?
MLS.
For who though? For who? Where's he going to be doing
that's
that?
His problem though.
But remember, he played in the Champions League last season and scored 5 goals or whatever. So it's not like he can't score in the Champions League. The problem is teams don't want to take on the baggage that comes with Ronaldo.
Yep.
And I say baggage, not like a normal baggage.
Changing your
but
system
it's
to work for
the
them.
hype
Yeah.
around the fact that it's Ronaldo and he's forced to change. I genuinely think that Ten Hag wanted to play Ronaldo, but I think he realised that Ronaldo doesn't work for how he wants the team to play.
Yeah.
Nah, it doesn't fit his style of play.
In the Premier League, you can't have passengers when you don't have the ball. Ronaldo can't give you energy off the ball in a sense of when you don't have it. He's not going to press people. He's not going to do those things. So realistically, like what Ten Hag wants, Cristiano can't give him, and that's the reason why I think they've fallen out.
But,
yeah, well, we'll see what happens.
Anyway, I don't care. It's Man United. Good.
Start to sound like James now, Leon. Jeez.
Good job.
Yeah,
good
bruv.
job.
Anyone that is competing for top 4, bruv. Anyone, I'm on it.
On that note, Newcastle, Chelsea.
On that note, yeah. Newcastle, Chelsea, top 4, battle here.
Newcastle
right
are
there.
trouble.
Newcastle are trouble right now, bro. They're on bits.
The goal, though.
Do you know what?
The finish was sublime.
The finish was nice. The finish was nice.
I thought he jacked the ball from
he did.
What's his name?
But he did it. He did it in a way. He did it in a way.
Amron kind of back to he'd overrun it and he backed out because he knew like he's going to take the chance. So Amron knew what was going on and the finish was nice. Do you know what though? Newcastle deserved it. They were better nearly the whole game. And Chelsea, I don't know.
Is he in trouble, bruv? Is he in trouble?
He's put in trouble.
Yeah.
Well, his excuse was after the game.
He's in trouble because we don't know how these owners are. That's the realistic thing.
I think the owners are willing to back him for a while.
Yeah.
Like they seem to be. They believe that he's their guy. So
what we've also got to remember.
It's the excuses though. Like it's like the players are tired, and you can see a difference between a team that doesn't have to play midweek, and they're like,
that's a Klopp
this is what
is. You got it from Klopp.
This is what it is. Yeah, this is what it is at this level. Like you know what you're managing now. This is what it is at this level.
Bro, we probably thought if Klopp can say it when I beat him or draw with him, I can say it now at Chelsea.
Bro, Conte said it as well in the week when we lost to Forest. So
like the difference is when Klopp says it, we know what Klopp's trying to do.
Yeah.
We know the game plans. When Conte says it, again, it's mind games. He's talking because as much as Conte said that, bro, he's got a squad and he hasn't rotated it.
Yeah.
So
bruv,
how you say
tell
that?
me about it.
Right. So Conte's talking nonsense, but the way that Potter said it like he really was trying to convince you that that's the case. We believe it. This is, and I'm like, bro, like really, like you would have better off coming out saying we had the injuries and we're not settled.
Bro,
but you know what I mean?
They got a bag of players.
Listen, you gotta be fair to him though, right? Let's be honest. This time last season, Chelsea were flying high because of what? Why were they so high up last season? Because Chilwell was killing it, left wing back, and Reece James was killing right wing back. What happened when they lost them, bruv? When they lost those two wing backs, Chelsea dropped like a stone, and that's why they finished where they were. Now he's come in, and he's got the best right back in England that people will say, because people say he's better than Trent. He's lost him, and then a few weeks later he goes and loses his. Well, he was mixing both of them, Cucurella and him, but he's lost both of those outlets. Then you look at it, Koulibaly hasn't settled in the Premier League. Everyone was like, that's a good signing. He hasn't settled in the Premier League yet. Then you look at the new young centre back they bought to replace what's his name? German. I forgot what's his name now.
Rudiger.
They
from Leicester.
They brought in.
He's injured.
Yeah.
So he's literally got no centre backs. And then
this is what I'm saying.
But on top of that, he's now trying to get a team that was defensive. Let's be honest, they were a very defensive team. He's now trying to make them become offensive. It's hard work, and it's a job that he's going to have to fix, and he's got to put his big boy pants on and work on. But
this is what I'm saying. This is why he should have come out. He should have come out and said, we've been ravaged by injuries. It's affecting,
But everyone,
I'm not being able to, you know what I mean?
Klopp got killed for that. You can't talk about injuries. Everyone coming through you talk about injuries. They've said it already, even about Klopp this season. Oh, everyone gets injuries. Everyone gets it. That's what they say. So, and now you've got managers coming out and saying it about other teams. Everyone gets injuries, so he can't come out and say it.
Mm-hmm.
He's just got to try and play the line that we all hate to hear, and say everyone's tired. That's all you can say,
Bro. It's this tiredness line. I'm just like I'm done at with it. They got 5 subs now. 5. You can literally change half the team.
That's right.
In every game.
That's right.
Half the team, bro.
And how many subs,
man?
How many subs?
Teams have been playing Champions League and League for how long? Successful teams
without 5 subs. Yep.
Exactly. Successful teams manage to do it, man. Injuries can happen, and that can ruin your season. But yeah, man, this tiredness. It's only December. It's not even December yet.
Yeah.
They haven't even gone to the World Cup yet. So we'll see what happens.
I think he'll turn it around. Like, unless these these owners are crazy, they'll give him the chance. But he obviously has to start picking up wins when they come back. And I still think once he finds his groove, they're going to be a problem. And obviously gets the players back.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, I hope they don't.
But so do I. Let them fight next season.
Yep. No, they never fight next season. Yeah,
that's trouble we don't want with Chelsea come back.
Yeah,
bro. They got a big squad, bro. It only takes is them to get used to Potter style, and they'll be a problem again.
But how much credit do we need to give to
a hell of a lot
to what's his name?
Eddie Howe.
Eddie Howe.
Yeah. You know
what? Only seem to beat them. Liverpool only seem to beat them this season. Right? Yeah. The last minute winner.
Yeah, and they've. The maddest thing is that we know they're gonna have money to spend. Money to spend in January. So this will be the test now for them, bringing in the right people.
They have so far, innit?
They've done it. They've done it so far. Obviously, Isaac is the only one that's kind of not panned out because of injury. But that's it. He looked good when he first played. So it's going to be interesting to see who else they bring in.
Callum Wilson stepped up, so
if he can stay fit.
Yeah, the loss of that hasn't been too bad for them. So yeah.
But where do you think they'll buy it?
Been on fire.
What do you think they'll do in terms of purchasing?
I don't know, because the defense has sorted itself out.
The defense is solid.
And the midfield's looking strong.
I heard they're looking for another DM, so that they don't rely too much on Bruno Gomes. But
maybe makes sense.
Shelby's days might be numbered because he's not.
Shelby's days are numbered as soon as Gomes come in, boy. So he can
play an 8 though. He can play an 8, but it's obviously the Geordie boy's taking his spot in it. What's his name? One of the two brothers, Longstaff.
What, Longstaff?
Longstaff is going quietly about his business. Willock gets goals for fun. Well, not for fun.
Joe Linton.
And Joe Linton. People are saying he should have been playing midfield for Brazil.
Yeah, he's undroppable right now for Newcastle, though. Let's be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like, he's their real engine in there, so he ain't going nowhere. So maybe a bit of width.
They're not missing Sam Maximin, which is remember what Sam Maximin said last year that he could play for any team. They're not missing him. They're not missing him at all.
To be honest, he's not been in the squad mainly because of injury. So,
but I'm saying they're not even missing him, which is crazy.
If you look at that after the World Cup,
we'll see.
He'll be back, and that's another threat for them. To be honest with you.
Okay, so Everton fans were going crazy, throwing shirts back at them.
Yep.
Losing 3-0 to Bournemouth. Bournemouth, who we thought were buried, have come out.
Do you know what? It was a disgraceful performance away from home.
3 in a row for
Everton.
3 in a row. Disgraceful performances.
I don't blame them fans because you travel come on, Liverpool all the way down to the bottom of the coast of Bournemouth to go and see a performance like that. It was a joke performance. They was all over the place. Again, like I said to you, Nick Pope number 1 for England because
he can't kick though. He can't kick.
Still, look at
Okay,
Look at
he
the
can kick it
madness.
long, but he can't. At the ball at his feet, he's
At
like
least,
rabbit headlights, bro.
at least two of those goals were Pickford's fault. At least two of the goals were Pickford's fault.
Hmm.
And I know people are saying about the head injury and the referee should have stopped the game, but either way, like Bournemouth were all over them. It
Yeah.
could have been more than three. It could have been way more than three, to be honest with you. And everything it was a bit of a disgrace. Now, I don't blame the fans because I'd be angry as well. But to be honest with you, at least the players went over to try and thank them for coming,
Yeah.
because I can imagine if they didn't come over, the players would have been screaming, "Oh, we've come all this way.
But they made the trip twice. They lost.
You lot played that twice.
They lost 4-1
You know what I
midweek
mean?
in the same trip, bro.
And then you lot didn't even come over and say nothing. So like basically, you're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't, boy, as their players. But yeah, is Frank under trouble?
Nah, I don't think so. They believe in what he's doing. He started off the season defensively well, and
I was gonna say they had the best defense in the league about
7
2 or
games
3
ago.
games
Yeah,
ago, and it's just
something crazy like that. But the problem they have is they needed a striker, and they went and bought Neil Mope. Like, your main striker is injury prone at the moment, and you had the whole summer because he was injured from the beginning of the summer. You had the whole summer to go and buy a striker, and it ended up with
He's
Neil
injured
Mope.
again.
Like, I'm not saying Mope is the worst striker ever, but he doesn't get enough goals.
Do you know what that was, James? The simple fact of that is Calvert-Lewin is their number one.
Yeah, and anyone else.
They didn't want to bring anyone that was gonna rock that boat, because remember there were like in the summer, if he wasn't injured in the summer, he was potentially another reason for them to recoup money that they needed. Like he was going to be potentially sold.
Mm.
It was either him, Richarlison, or Gordon, and they didn't want to get rid of him or Gordon. So that's why Richarlison ended up leaving realistically, and because of his contract, and they knew they needed to bring someone in as a backup, and they just went the easy route of like, well, Mope can get goals in the Premier League. He's done it now and again before, but he's going to come in, but he's not going to push. He's not a number one. Yeah, he's not going to push hard. He's not a real number one, and that's what it was. But with the way that Calvert-Lewin keeps getting injured, like you needed another number one, and Mope is not going to get you the goals that you need, bro. That's why Brighton were probably laughing when they got rid of him.
Yeah, they were. But it's Everton, so let him stay there. Let him stay there. West Ham, are they in trouble? Is Moyes in trouble, or is he just in the same position that Brendan Rodgers was? Because Brendan Rodgers did recover nicely.
It's quite mad because that's exactly kind of what it feels like. It feels like West Ham shouldn't be where they are. They've got a good enough squad. They've had good performances and not got the results. But you know what? They're getting a bit of karma now, because there's been a couple of matches which they've won, which for mad reasons with refereeing decisions and VAR decisions that they shouldn't have won. And now they're playing well because they played well, but they're not picking up the points. Now, everyone was saying, is Moyes in trouble and stuff like that. Moyes' interview for me said it all. So look, we've been playing well. The fans are accustomed to this. They're accustomed to being top of the table. They're accustomed to being in the Europa League and doing well. Well, we're in Europe. We're doing well. We've won all our games. We've topped our group. Like, we're playing well in the Premier League. We're just not getting the rub of the green, the results that we need in the games that we're playing well. Yeah. So, like, realistically, how fans can't be too upset, because it's not like they're flopping on all fronts.
True.
You know what I mean?
Your boy Harvey scores again.
Yeah.
Harvey Barnes, Madison. Getting his goal and then quickly coming off the pitch, mate.
Yeah, got his goal.
I'm done now.
I'm out.
You guys do the rest.
I got a twinge. I got a
twinge. Yeah, Harvey Barnes, nice finish. Leicester played well, and one of the things that we talked about before when Leicester were playing terribly was their defence, and the defence has been solid
since Ralph's stepped up.
since Valls has stepped up, Ciencho's come back in and played a couple of games as well, and the defense has been on lock. And fair play to Brendan, he's turned it around, and Leicester are looking good again. You know what I mean?
All you can ask of them is to beat the teams around them, and they're currently doing that. And they were unlucky against City. They put in a good performance against them, but you can see they're starting to pick up points against the teams and around them. And I think that is, it shows that the players are rallying around and getting behind Brendan. So hopefully for them anyway, it can continue. They've got a good team. They've got quality players. They made good signings. They just struggled to refresh, I think, and they didn't have the money to spend, which I think Brendan was expecting to have.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see if they are able to do anything in the transfer window. But they've got good.
Man, they went from 3 points
to stay injury free.
Went from 3 points to 17 points like it was nothing. It's crazy.
Yeah, Joe, I feel like this little run and performance by them might make the board spend some money and back Brendan a bit more. To be honest with you,
we'll see where it goes from there. But so Nottingham Forest, Crystal Palace, the second to last game we'll speak about. It wasn't the greatest game.
No, it wasn't.
Palace away form is not good.
Nope.
Forest just picking up wins. Like I've ruled them out almost every week, and then they come back and slap me in the face and say, "Nah, we're not going anywhere yet," and they go win a game. So I don't even know what's gonna happen with them. Like
the league table is really tight. All the teams in the bottom half are beating each other at the moment. So like even Wolves, who are bottom, one win puts them technically maybe above, no, probably still below Forest. But Forest win, they go to 14th if results go their way. So
we were bottom a few weeks ago, a couple of weeks ago.
Exactly. So it's really tight. It's still early. There's a lot of time for teams to fix up and really make the season and their own to get somewhere. But yeah, you can't really call it. The bottom three, I would have thought would have been a lot.
Drift, yeah.
But at the moment, Fulham have outperformed themselves. Bournemouth have outperformed themselves, and Forest haven't. They're just hanging in there.
If you're looking at the bottom three at the moment, obviously it's Wolves bottom, then Southampton, then Nottingham Forest. But at the start of the season, you would have never have put Wolves or Southampton in that bottom three. And like you said, Forest, James keeps writing them off, and many people have written them off and thought, they're going to be dead and buried. But one win from them, that takes them up to 14th. Like, that's just crazy. Leicester have climbed out of it back into the mid-table now. Leeds, who at one point you're worried about, they've stepped up. West Ham were in the bottom three. They're out of it, and even with the result losing this week, they're still out of it. I think the one realistically that I know we're saying that Lampard's not in trouble. Like they were in the same position last year, and they're kind of in it again this year, Everton, and that could be a worry.
But it's not just one; it's two. Because Neil Jones, what does he know about this league? He's going into Southampton, and at the bottom of the table with a bunch of kids splattered all over his team. Now he's got to learn the Premier League from the relegation zone. Yeah, they had a good attacking spell.
He took the job, innit?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they've probably put themselves in that deep trouble. Probably should have kept Hassan to the end of the season because he was trying to get him out.
Yeah, I guess because it was inconsistent, but they also had that time where they could turn up and outplay anyone on their day.
It's weird. Yeah,
but
literally.
But what do you reckon then, James? You reckon Jones is not the guy for this, and that he's not going to be able to get them that consistency?
It's a big risk because yes, Stoke wasn't a fantastically run club in terms of the type of football you want, and had a mix and match of players. But he flopped at Stoke to the fact that he went back to Luton, and Luton started winning again. So his first move away didn't go too well, and now he's got a very talented team, but he's got a very young team. and he's lucky in a way that because they're so young. I think bar Bella Kotchap, they're probably hardly any of them probably on international duty. So he's now got 6 weeks to work with them.
He got time to work with him. Yeah.
So it might help him in that regard, but it's a new league. Like he doesn't know what he's expecting. It's not like he played a lot of Premier League teams in cup games either.
Yeah.
So it's all fresh. So it'll be interesting. Where Cooper has the advantage is last year he took over a team that was bottom in the championship and got them promoted. So he knows how to get a group of players that aren't performing and aren't gelling motivated to succeed and win. Yes, it's a different level, different standard, but he's doing it bit by bit and getting players to gel. So
true.
It's now I can't even say who's for certain because it would have been for certain it would have been Nottingham Forest, but I don't even know. What I do know is they're not going to buy anyone in January because they can't. There's no way they could buy more people in January. So that's going to be interesting. But the last game, Brighton Villa.
Yeah, the new manager bounce of Unai. Good evening. He's turned Villa around completely. Two strong results.
He's a quality manager.
Away from home. Yeah, we know that. But away from home to a quality Brighton team.
The first away win. The first away win.
Yeah, and coming back from 1-0 down as well. Like that's wow.
They got robbed though.
To be honest with you, yeah,
of course they did.
They got. Do you know what? They didn't only just get robbed. Like they deserved something from that match because they peppered them that whole of that second half. But you know what? Like Villa showed resilience, boy, and I know, James, you're right. They got robbed because I don't know how that weren't a penalty.
Even if it wasn't a penalty, I don't know how he didn't say ref go and see it because that's what they're basically saying.
I don't understand that as well.
They're basically saying it wasn't a big error. That's no. They said it wasn't a big error.
They're not even saying that. Basically, they're saying there was no error. So unless someone's come out and told me what the rules are and it was else to what we saw, like I don't. He's clearly
taken
the guy out and not got the ball. So that's a penalty. Like I don't understand how it's not a penalty, and then I don't understand how VAR then haven't at least said
go and have a look.
Yeah. What do you think? Because we're not sure.
That's his job.
But they know the rules.
His job is to say go and have a look.
Yeah,
I mean,
they know the rules. So if they know the rules, then by the rules of the game, that's not a penalty, then fair enough. But tell us then
football.
Because what are the rules? Because
they can't tell you because they don't know. They don't know. It's too open ended. Like there's obviously refereeing is about the referee's opinion, but each week there's just no consistency. That's why managers and players get frustrated because there's literally no consistency. Week to week, you're having contentious decisions, and there never seems to be any consistent correlation between the decisions that they're making.
Apart from that happens to Salah every week.
Which one?
That happens to Salah every week.
What? Salah gets kicked.
Salah gets chopped on a regular, bro, and he gets no penalties. Think about it realistically. Salah, if you look at the amount of times Salah gets fouled in games, Salah doesn't get free kicks, and it's amazing. Someone did a stat. If I could find it now, it would have been good. But there's a crazy stat: the amount of times Salah's actually been kicked and not got free kicks, and we haven't got penalties from it. So maybe they are being consistent. There's now spreading it around other teams, not just Salah.
That was a stone cold penalty, bro. Yeah, I don't know how the hell.
I would say it's a horrific decision.
How? Yeah, but you know what? Like United, smart substitutions, locked the game down. Ashley Young came on and had the blinder when he came on. Like
as a wing back, he did a good job.
Just locking it up and
Every now and then you can pull out them kind of games as a mid to late 30-year-old.
Yeah. But apparently he was called up for the initial 55-man squad for England.
Really?
Ashley Young was in the squad, the initial 55-man squad.
Put so badly with Gareth.
It's Gareth, innit?
To be honest.
Yeah.
But I'm happy for Ings. Like,
I
always liked him at Liverpool, and injury just whether he was good enough for us in general, injuries just never let him have the chance to prove that he was or wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
I'm always happy when he gets a goal, because he seems like someone that works hard and that deserves his chances. But it's going to be interesting because, like I said last week, they've got a better manager. As much as Gerrard's a Liverpool legend and all that, they've actually upgraded. They've sacked a manager and upgraded, and the performance you'd think it was almost like that's what you expect from a Steven Gerrard kind of team. That doggedness is what you expect a Steven Gerrard team to do and hold out second half. But you got it from it's never been a stretch. You got it from an elite manager. He's an elite manager. He's won enough trophies to be an elite manager. Unai Emery,
100%,
and it showed in the day. So I think the worries that they had, which made them sack Gerrard, that'll be gone. That'll be gone. They're not going to challenge for Europe or anything like that, but they'll have a decent enough season this year with him.
Yeah.
And we've got them first after the what do you call it? And Klopp's already moaning, saying we don't even know what to expect. They've got a new manager. we don't have enough videos to go on.
Klopp is full of excuses, but it's mad.
Bruh,
he said the same thing about Neil Jones as well.
But
at the same time, he's got history with him, innit? He beat us in the final. So Klopp knows. Yeah, Klopp knows that it's going to be a tough battle. But have to wait and see, because the World Cup is now here. The week that's all the roundups of the games. Some good games. You guys are ecstatic at the end, even if you weren't there. I'm sure you're punching the air in your workplace.
It's more of a relief, personally. Yeah,
relief.
It's more of a relief. But yeah, we'll take it. We'll take it, because at 3-2, I thought that was game done. I'll be honest with you, and I was cursing and cussing. But
in my head, I was like, we've already lost 5 games. I was like, this is ridiculous, man.
Yeah, you was moaning that we'd lost 4 the other day, and it's like, bro,
okay, because we were talking about literally 3 weeks ago. We were like, it's the best start Tottenham ever had.
Yep.
Blah blah blah. Well, not ever, but since the '60s, and then we lost back-to-back games, bro. So,
but you know what?
Yeah, man.
One of the strange stats, which I don't know if you know, is that we've scored more goals this season at the start of a Premier League season than we ever have. So as much as everyone wants to talk about the negativity of Conte's play, that's a promising stat.
Yeah, it's a negative first half. That's why. Second half, he just says, you know what? Forget what I said.
This is why.
Just go out, go rampant.
Nah, I don't think it's that. He's telling him to, because you're seeing the difference. The wing backs are getting forward.
Obviously, it's better.
I think backs are getting forward.
If I was to be honest with what I think it is Conte comes out with a plan for these players, gives it to them to go and implement. Most of our players are not capable of doing that. They come in at half time, they get cussed, they go out and they perform because they've. Conte must, I don't know, just put the fair.
At least they can work under pressure.
Which you couldn't say about Tottenham before.
There you go.
They can work under pressure when they're putting the pressure on someone else, not under pressure themselves. Just capitulate, mate.
But cool.
But yeah,
we're all looking forward to the World Cup. So we'll see where it goes from there. 6 weeks. And we'll be back on, or probably 7 weeks, innit? Really, until the next game week. 7 or so weeks.
6 days to the World Cup, probably 6 weeks till back to the Premier League. Or 7. So
that's all good. We'll be here for the World Cup. So you know.
Cool. Well,
all good.
Thanks, guys. We will continue this with another show. So I think the next few periods are going to be internationals. So, have a good evening, and we'll speak to you soon.
Cheers.
Take care, everyone.